Don't want to be defacing monuments now. There we go.
Da-da-da-da-da! Slam poem time! Yeah! This slam poem I wrote about occupying spaces for political reasons. And anyone wants to hear it, that'd be awesome. Okay. This misanthropy, hellish nightmare dystopia, tsunami swelling, there's a welling upstream that's spelling out these Orwellian dreams in double speak, and nothing they're telling me is really what it seems. We got used to the river of truth being dried up, and no proof is necessary for them to bury us in lies, and deceit is very visible at low tide when the fact that we're being lied to cannot hide in the depths. And you know, even the best of us is susceptible to sea level rise. Learn to swim, cause the glaciers are melting, belching out methane, and I felt the effects been kicking in for the past decade or so, like a slow motion roasting, fading out ecosystems. It's a shame, you know, that politicians didn't listen to the scientists way back when they envisioned the way the next 10 or so years would go. Seriously, conspiracy theories all you can come up with? What did you think we'd do when that shit went public? Saying CO2 is only from volcanoes erupting? Can you honestly wonder why we don't be trusting y'all? We're ready to see our colonialist empire fall. In fact, I'm enlist myself to be the wrecking ball, cause I'm just pissed enough to call your bluffs a royal flush kingdom crushed by the power of us all. And I'ma muster up all my strength. You can bet I'ma take my money out of the bank. It's funny, the ultimate prank, when your ships are sank and all your markets crash like a flash flood. A fast rush of blood as the last of your cash becomes a distant thing in the past. You're rigging the math, even though we blasted holes in the plastic boat of the status quo. Quicker than you can bat, your lashes will pass the test of awaken the masses. The 99% will put you out with the trash, and your asses will be spent like a classic MasterCard dent in your budget portfolio bent. You won't know where your assets went. You lent out too many subprimes this time. The credit crisis victims, high and dry, ain't about to rent out, but occupy our public spaces. We're putting faces to the cause, erasing the claws that pause the progress of the places that lost their livelihoods in devastated neighborhoods. And how can we fail to recognize the lies, the tokenist tales provided by the brokers and the bankers in disguise as politicians' advisors, when it's compromised the lives of millions with the existence of their billion-dollar enterprise? They've extended the lens of the all-seeing eye to criminalize our activities. They've erected fences on our lives, then bended the truth to convince you, the viewer, that we're the bad guys, but we're fighting for your pensions, your freedoms, and it could not be truer that we're really on your side. If you're not inclined to ride the next wave of recession, the decline of this system will almost surely be a blessing. To mobilize a mission of equality is the lesson for the day, and the way will not be paved, but most certainly will pray for the path to stay clear, and we'll veer with it as it may. Peaceful presence with no fear, and hear the thorough play-by-play, because we're relying on each other now. No fouls, none led astray, just consensus, not defenses. We've all got something to say, and I feel compelled to call the coroner in on this financial system spinning off its hinges, and will win if moderation overcomes consumption binges.
Yeah!
Yes!
Carson had called this discussion, and he actually had kind of a topic in mind. He did call it Speaker's Corner, but he did have a topic of the discussion in mind, so it's going to be a bit more of a discussion.
Awesome.
Where obviously everyone has the right to participate in the discussion. So he wanted to touch on why are we here, and kind of what our goals are. Did you want to start off? Or?
Sure. We're here because the system of how you earn money and spend money, I find, is not really matching up well for most people, and it's not because they're not working and aren't earning enough, but I think it's intentionally been mismatched to keep people enslaved to their jobs. Things have been set so that you're constantly working and don't ever get too far forward. So I want to try and find a way to change that, and that's why I'm supporting this movement. I think that's part of this movement's role. So that's one of my reasons.
Amen to that.
I used to be an anti-poverty activist in the 80s, but what I'm seeing happen now, much of what you're saying here, is not just rampant inflation, I don't feel good about my country anymore. That I'm watching a politician with his carefully crafted gestures assuring us that the economy is stable and we're on track. But I want questions answered like, why are we building more prisons if our crime rate's going down? I'm not getting this. Why is it right in this world to own 3 cars but not have a clothesline in your backyard? Because it's all right to burn as much power and use up the planet, but it's wrong to voice your opinion against it. What I'm seeing happen, and Amy and I don't drive anymore, but we used to be able to take a bus to the Annapolis Valley to visit our families in the 70s and 80s for $7 or $8. Are you aware of that? You know what it costs now? $70 or $80. That's just, the inflation is more than we can bear. You're saying the right thing. People have become slaves to their credit card interest, to their student loans. We're all a bunch of friggin' hamsters running on a wheel, like the Matrix, generating taxes, paying our taxes so that they can build more prisons and finance more banks and more warships. But we've lost our heart. We've lost the ability to care. And just seeing you guys here inspires me, because it makes me believe that you're the next generation. You're going to make the difference. But my heart is right here with you in everything that you're doing. You're doing the right thing. Stick to your guns.
Anyone else want to speak next? Yeah.
I'll go ahead. I spoke last night at the General Assembly, and thank you. I spoke last night at the General Assembly, and it was the first time I ever had the opportunity to speak to a group of people who were actually willing to listen to what I had to hear. And when I got home last night, I sat down and I tried to think about what I want from this and why I'm here and that sort of stuff, exactly what you guys are asking. And for some reason it popped into my head, if you're a millionaire or a billionaire and you're in the political system and you get there through jumping over people and taking opportunities or just take away from others, you detach yourself from the system. You detach yourself from the personal views and opinions of the people you're supposed to be representing. You can't be a millionaire and a billionaire running a corporation or a political party and be able to relate to the people that voted you in that office. Right now, our political system is completely detached from everything, from how the police system is ran, how the corporations are buying into the politicians, how the politicians are coming up with all these laws that are favoring one part of the country, favoring one part of the society and not the other. And you go down to the debates right now in the States for the new elections that are coming up, and you look at the Republican side of it. What they're saying on television and what they're saying to their base right now in their debates is absolutely not even close to being reflected on what the Republican voters actually want. And it's a perfect example of how they've become completely detached from what their base actually is. And they're just going for whatever dollar sign comes around. And it infuriates me to no end. And I can literally talk for hours about it because I've been following it for years. And my main reason for being out here is because I've been waiting for this to happen. And I will not stand by and watch other people stand up for their rights while I sit at home watching other people stand up for their rights.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Just for any new people here,
we don't need to have 3 cars. We don't need to have big houses. I know I personally come from not really wealthy, but I mean we have money. So I grew up in like a nice house, and we had like 2 cars and all that. And when my parents got divorced and my mom moved into like a smaller place, I personally like that a whole lot more than having a 3-story house and having a garage and all that stuff. Where in an apartment building, it's like a mini community, just like this. But And with this, we're more connected together because we don't have the walls separating everyone.
Another reason why I'm here is because there is a lot of, when governments are forced to do something that isn't in the best interests of the people, and it's a corrupt movement that they're doing, that's not what a government should be doing. They're there to represent the people. And I'm here because there is so much corruption in governments around the world, not necessarily Canada. So when they take bribes from corporations to get a bill passed, that's a bad thing. I'm here to try and see that policies get changed. When police in the Wall Street occupation were given a lot of money to start fights with the protesters and attack them, I don't know if they were attacked, but being angrily moved against, that is a really bad thing. The police are the law and order. If they're corrupt, then there is no law and order anymore, really. So that needs to be changed. How can we do that? That's why I'm here, to see if we can change that.
I have a perspective. I love you.